Should I? Does anyone else have access to Twitter?
I don't.
Y'all
I
need
would
to
like
pass the.
access.
Yeah, we could get these
Y'all got
passwords.
me.
Bro.
Y'all really said executive producer got to go to work tonight.
Pass these passwords along, girl.
I think all the passwords are in the chat. So we just
They
gotta
really
scroll
are
up
like
for
y'all
them.
need to keep up.
We just
Hey
gotta
y'all,
scroll up.
if you watching.
We'll have an executive meeting later.
Oh wait, we gotta go off the stream. This is not even how.
Whoa. Hey, everybody. I got thrown into this because they didn't warn me that I was going to. All right, we'll try this again. I want to say welcome to another episode of Black Boy Watch. Yes, we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties, but it's A-okay. You know, we're in to talk a little bit about Big Brother. It's been a very interesting week, as well as we're going to touch on some Drag Race, which you haven't heard our opinions on so far this season. So let me start by introducing my other co-workers here. You have me, Lance McCain. Next, you'll have, come on in, girlies. Come on in, girlie. We have
Lance
Williams. We have the executive producer, Josh. And we also have the boss man, Derek. Hey, ladies.
We clipped the wrong person there. We had the wrong person.
Oh shit! Why y'all put me in this? I'm doing this whole. I'm literally like I'm on Twitter trying to tweet the link. I'm not ready. Y'all gonna be up here looking stupid. Not that.
Like it's okay.
Technical difficulties.
But y'all been rolling with us since way back in the beginning, where we would literally talk our whole meetings through on here. So y'all should be proud of us. We are here. We are queer. Welcome to Black Boy Watch. Hey, ladies.
Hey guys.
Hey, Miss McCain.
Yes.
What up?
Miss McCain, love it.
Lance, I know you haven't been here in a while, and the people have missed you. We're also missing Charlie tonight.
Yeah, my drag mother, you know, as you know, last week, Charlie put me in drag for the very first time. Rain Royale Simone made her debut in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and I slayed it.
Rain.
Miss Ass Almighty.
Mm-hmm.
But my mother is, you know, definitely needed a break from a lot of things. And mental health is really serious, and we take it very serious here at Black Boy Watch. And we want to send all the love and all the hugs and all the praise to our coworker as well, our friend Charlie, as he take a little break away from, you know, social media as well as the show for a little bit. We support you, and when you're ready to make your return, baby, we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
We love you so much.
That we do. All right, so we took a week off, y'all. We were busy, had some stuff going on last week. We are back this week strong, ready to talk about week 4 of Big Brother. Yes, we are. Yep. Mm-hmm. We don't have too much to say about last week. It was a straightforward week. You know, Brent left. You know, what they say, all of that? Like, you know, good flight home type thing. We move on to week 4, where we get a Christian HOH, another king, you know, running the house, you know, another king making the decisions. When just before that, everybody was saying like this, well, majority of the house was saying like, we got to get a king out, you know, we got to get a king out. And Big Brother God said, not this week. So, excuse me, we move on. We have Christian HOH. It was that puzzle, you know, Christian was the last one to put, oh, my hair looks mess tonight, y'all. I am so sorry. Oh my gosh. Christian was the last one to put his puzzle piece in, so he was the last. So he was crowned the HOH. How do y'all feel about a Christian HOH? do we
Going into that competition, they wanted Alyssa to win that HOH, right?
Mhm.
They had no idea, like him pressing the button, he would be.
Well, Julie told them that
It's 'cause they
the
wasn't-
person who put the last piece in would be HOH.
They wasn't paying
Okay.
They didn't
attention.
time it correctly. Yep.
But he honestly could have still played it off because all he had to do was, even though it was the last piece, go, run out, and let Alyssa run back because she was right after him.
Mhm.
Sarah Beth really set them up for that win. Sarah Beth was the one hands-on from the puzzle, from like some of the rewatches and the clips that I've seen. Because that night, I don't know what the cameramen were doing, were horrible jobs showing us the actual
Absolutely.
like puzzle that night. But from what I rewatched and saw afterwards, that Sarah Beth was their puzzle person and she was killing it for their team.
Absolutely.
Honestly, like whenever like Christian won, like I was so confused because like the cameraman was like on Derek X and I was like, yes, Derek's about to win it. And then all of a sudden it's like Christian won. So that was very confusing. But I definitely do agree Sarah Beth like killed that puzzle. Like for me, like if I was one of those house guests, I would be like, that's the one that we need to be watching because she's fucking smart as fuck.
Yeah, for some reason, Christian's thinking he said he did 7 pieces. I didn't see Christian do 7 pieces, but we move.
No.
So we get into this week, and Kings have control of the house again. They're deciding what happens this week. Well, they're deciding who goes on the block this week. I'll say that. Ultimately, the decision who goes home will come down to votes at this point. He has several conversations throughout the week, but I think he has his mind pretty much set from the beginning. He knew he was going to do Whitney and Hannah from jump. And when he decided on this, he sat down with all the teams, had these conversations, and every team I think came in there and they all said something about the Aces. So ultimately it was the Aces against everyone this week. Aces said the Jokers, Joker said the Aces, so that was no shocker there. And then once Christian, so he had this conversation with Hannah, he had a conversation with Whitney. He told Whitney she was safe. So after telling Whitney she was safe, and then literally it was maybe like 30 minutes later, putting her on a block. If y'all were Whitney and y'all have this conversation and he says, "Oh, Whitney, you're safe," how would y'all feel 30 minutes later? You're being, or maybe like an hour, but y'all get the point. It was soon after he says, my nominations are Hannah and Whitney. Hannah had an idea because he pretty much told Hannah she would be up there as a pawn, but Whitney completely blindsided when she went up. She thought she was safe, and yeah. So how would y'all feel? Do y'all think y'all would have handled it as well as Whitney handled it?
I think I would have found a way off the block. I think I would have pulled every string out. I don't think I would have let Christian have peace that week, especially after he didn't use veto. I think I would have fucked some shit up. So I think she handled it well, but I think you're on your way out, do something, and she didn't do enough. So
yeah, I just never, first of all, don't understand how the HOHs feel like they have so much control and these house guests allow it. At the end of the day, I'm HOH. Only thing I need to control is my nominations. And if someone come off the block, my replacement. If I was HOH, I would play the game where hey, you guys, I don't have a target. These are my nominees. Y'all decide. Because by you pinpointing a target and after you sitting there telling one person they're the pawn and the other person that they're not even touching the block, to me, it's just convoluting a lot because you don't know everything that's going on in the house. When something crazy could happen, you literally could be bamboozled and your foot could be in your mouth. And at the end of the day, Christian don't realize, under Derek X, you are the next big target. People see that you're winning stuff. People pinpointing you as the winner of all the, of that crew. Xavier has won stuff, but people are looking at Christian because he got Christian, Alyssa. That's a pair, and people are gonna want to eventually break that up. So it's just, I feel like as HOH, people need to start just saying, "Hey, I'm HOH. The only power I have, I don't even have a damn vote for the week, is these nominations, and y'all decide. Y'all come puzzle everything else."
Mm-hmm. Not even just that. Alyssa did so well in tonight's HOH. Extremely well. So I don't see it being good for her this week. And I agree with everything you just said, Lance. I'm sorry, Lance McCain.
I think it comes from an aspect of how Big Brother has grown into a game. I feel like people expect the HOH to have a target, so people go to the HOH what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? I do agree with you on, in a sense, like I would just be like, honestly, like I'll just put 2 people up, let the house decide.
They're my targets, you know? 2 people I put up. Yeah, even though pawn or not, because at the end of the day, for me, if you put me up as a pawn or not, that means I'm expendable to your game. So I'm never going to trust you moving forward. So my thought process is like, I'm putting 2 people up. Either one could go because they're both coming for me no matter what. So I'm gonna let the house decide and let the house get that dirt because I already got enough dirt by even letting them touch the block. So y'all deal with all that extra. Like I just feel like that adds so much extra drama to the HOH every week, and it's draining for me to watch. Being I've been watching for so long, I needed to go back in the days where they would be like, "Hey, these are people I put up. Y'all decide. Give me some split houses. Fuck that unanimous bullshit." Like,
yeah, the constant like house target, like it's ridiculous. And like the fact that people are okay to play this way, like I would be thinking kind of like Whitney. It was kind of like a weight realization for her. Like, okay, like Frenchie was the house target this week. Brent was the house target this week. Who's the house target this week? Unfortunately for her, it was her. But
yeah, and at one point she was closely working with Brent, so some of those bulbs should have started clicking. Then, like, hey, maybe I need to do a little bit more to keep Brent in his house because when Brent gone, they say house targets are done. Who's next? I'm the expendable one. If I don't win, I'm expendable. My team don't win, I'm expendable. People, that's what I don't understand in games sometimes. People don't realize where they are on totem poles. And I have this problem in live games where I get into arguments with people all the time because it's like, baby, you think you're top tier? No, you're not. You're number 7 out of fucking the group. Like, it's aggravating to me sometimes.
Yeah, it's like people are just like comfortable with like being okay. But like, wait, like when you enter like a game like Big Brother, you constantly have to be thinking that you're like a target, or like I wouldn't be okay with just being safe and like letting the house decide. Like if you're not making those decisions, you're in trouble. But like going into this week, we get the nominations of Hannah and Whitney, and we get the competition. What is the name of it? The battle. What is it?
It involved a
wild card competition.
The wild card competition.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, so we know Whitney's the target, but like Whitney gets to play in this competition along with Claire and Azah. What did you guys think of the competition?
Thought it was cute. I liked the beat. It was fun. Yeah.
It reminded me of one of those little games that they used to have at like Gaddy Land, where you would have the snake and the ball, and you had to like maneuver it down. Like I love that shit. Like Azah was pissing me off. But,
oh my god, Azah was like so annoying. I'm like, girl, if you don't move this like, thing, I was like, girl, what are you doing? Like,
a mess,
like even like Whitney, I'm like you're like the target. Like, could you imagine how well we would have eaten this week if Whitney won that competition?
I don't know if we would have ate well. I don't know if we would have ate well.
Why not?
Who do you think would have
won? Winning safety?
Because she would have won safety and would have guaranteed herself to a jury. So she can't be this
Do you think she would have guaranteed herself to jury, or would she have saved her entire team?
Yeah, she would have saved herself.
She would have saved herself.
Okay. You think anybody would have saved themselves?
If you
actually, you know what?
No.
Whitney would not have saved herself. She would have done the whole team thing.
She would have done the whole team.
Are
honestly,
you serious?
I really do. Like, I think she went into that competition hoping that she can save her entire team.
I mean, yeah, because she didn't really know she was like the target until that moment when Derek had his little throw up moment. So you're right. She really. But touching the
like
block,
that decision, like honestly, like I think people would have looked at her like, "Girl, you're crazy. Like you should have saved yourself." Like 100%.
Yeah, I don't know. Lance would have went to jury. Netta, I would have been Netta.
So 100%, I would have like went to jury as well. But like, you also have to think like, how much weeks do we have until jury? 2?
About 2.
This is the last week. This is the last week.
Next
so
week,
Claire just got 1 week of safety.
2,
which I think she would have been good either way. So
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
she never could be sure.
True, because she didn't know Derek X would win this HOH either. So,
and plus my queen, she's still like doing it too. Like even in competitions, giving it her all.
Oh, not this crush on Claire, baby.
Yeah, honestly,
Yeah, so Claire wins the wild card competition, and obviously she saves herself.
Yes.
So I think we all agree that we all would do the same thing in her
Mhm.
position, right?
mhm,
Absolutely. I'm going to jury,
And
baby. Collecting my jury check. Yes, yes.
period.
I
Stipend.
kind of expected somebody to be like just to like call her out and be like, oh, she's selfish.
No.
But like everybody surprisingly was like, she made the right decision.
Mhm.
But like for me, like if I was making that decision, I would be worried about people thinking that.
Not me, baby. I'm sorry.
You know who would have had the balls to call her out if, you know, they were doing all that? Sarah Beth. And we'll get to her in a moment.
If it was Hannah,
Okay.
if it was Hannah,
Speaking of Sarah Beth, we can get into that.
Oh, so
We
you're
get to it
thinking
now.
if it was
Yes.
if the roles were reversed, if it was somebody else, you think
Mhm.
they wouldn't have had that?
No. I think if Sarah
Either
Beth
way.
wasn't super cautious of her game as she has become after her little explosion in the HOH room, I think Sarah Beth 100% would have called someone out like Claire. But she's cautious of her game. I think she's the only one that actually probably would have done it. So
Yeah. So speaking of Sarah Beth, so most of the Kings team, well, I didn't say most of the Kings team, but most of the house, they wanted Whitney. But Sarah Beth, she had another agenda. She was going to push this agenda, and y'all were going to hear about this agenda.
Mhm.
It was at some point where she realized, maybe I should step back a little bit because I'm going to make myself a target.
Yeah.
I thought that from the jump. It was just like, I understand what you're saying, Sarah Beth. I understand you see Hannah as a bigger target. But this isn't your HOH, and you should never push this hard on someone else's HOH, especially in a room full of 5 or 6 other people. Not okay. And she had this agenda, and by all means, she was going to push it. Failed at pushing it, but she pushed it. So I have to give her something.
I can
for the persistence.
appreciate it.
Yes.
I love it.
honestly.
I love it
I
so
can
much.
appreciate it. Just that, like, she's playing her own game. Like, she
Mhm.
wanted to do what was best for her game, and she took the risk. She thought her allies would flock onto it, but unfortunately, they didn't. And also, unfortunately for her, I think it kind of like put a bad taste in some
Mhm.
people's mouths.
And I think she went about it the wrong way as well. She made it more about her and not a team
Her,
thing.
yes.
It was just like my game. When it's not even your HOH, Sarah Beth. So
it was when she said
Christian doesn't even have to give a damn about your game at this point, So
it was this specific line in the HOH for me when
I know what
she
you're about to
said,
say.
she's like, Hannah's so close with all of you. You all have an alliance with Hannah, but she doesn't have one with me. Do y'all not see that problem? It was so selfish, and I'm glad she said what she felt, because as a viewer, I was gagged. I was like, is she really out here doing that?
Yeah.
But then the house was like, we ain't doing that. So
Yeah. Like for me, it got me up as a viewer, but it got me down as it put a weird taste in my mouth for Sarah Beth. Because leading into this week, Sarah Beth was someone I was like, ooh, that's someone I really, really love. I still have love for Sarah Beth, don't get me wrong. But I just feel that what she was doing and how she was doing it, she took the right approach by going to her team first, trying to hear them out. Xavier kept his mouth closed because let's think about it. If this cookout didn't exist and this whole having more African American people in this house, it could have been an amazing plan. Or if she would have did that plan towards almost anyone else that wasn't a person of color, or that just didn't have as many allies. Like Hannah was covered from Derek X standpoint and the cookout, so it just didn't stand. But if it was not dealing with none of that or a regular typical season of Big Brother, Sarah Beth would have had another check mark on her resume easily. It was convincing.
100%.
It was very convincing.
Everything she said was smart,
and
100% agree.
Because if you think about it,
she called it out, and Christian should have taken the bait a little more. And me personally, this is where I battle with it now, because we're at the final 12 and there's 6 black people left. I know for me personally, whenever I play any game, if I feel comfortable enough to play my own game because there's people who look like me and sound like me, I don't necessarily have to be aligned with them. And I don't think they have necessarily gotten that message. I know they all want to make it to the end together. And I think that's great. I think that's cool. But Oz is at the bottom of that and she's first out. Derek F is next. And I can identify myself like that in most black alliances I've been in. So if I were them, I would jump ship sooner than later. But we can get there in a second. I want to jump ship, obviously. So.
Yeah, I'm interested into like seeing how you can identify like if you're at the bottom of an alliance of like people that look like you.
Mhm.
So yeah, we have the wild card competition. Claire wins. She chooses to go to jury, and we have the veto competition. Going into the veto competition, something that I found interesting was everyone wanted Derek X to play in the veto. Like
Yeah.
his team wanted him to play. Christian, Alyssa, and I think that just speaks volumes of like how well he's playing.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing his game. What did you guys think of that? Like, what did you guys think of like everybody wanting Derek X to be in the veto?
I realize Derek X is playing a really good game right now. I say that now, but just like not thinking about what could happen this week or how people could feel about him this week. But right now, I feel like he's playing a good game, and everybody wanted him to play in that veto competition. That was good and bad for him, I guess. So he didn't win, so I guess that was a good thing for him.
He was very close.
Yeah,
very close. Yeah, very close.
And even in his package, he constantly talked about like how he wanted to win to be able to control the narrative. He never once said that he was going to save Hannah.
He was going to do.
Exactly. Yes. He never, we would all expect, oh yeah, Hannah's his girl. He's going to save her to make sure whatever. But he knew that Hannah was good no matter what. So it's like, he just wanted to control it as in the fact of making sure Whitney stay on the block and that Christian wouldn't have to make any more blood on his hands. I just don't know how he would have been able to explain that to Hannah, for Hannah not to feel at least some type of way, but by not at least taking him down, because week 1, he took Kylan off the block. I got really close with you. How you don't take me off the block? What's your excuse for that? So it would have been very interesting if he would have won to see what his real narrative was.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like in week 1, though, Derek X didn't really have a good grasp on what was happening in the house, so he kind of had to use the veto to gain some trust with somebody, and gaining it with Kylan helped because Kylan's in with not only all of the cookout, but people outside of that, Sierra Beth, for example. So I think it was really smart for him to do it, the Royal Flush. So it was really smart of him to use it week 1, whereas now it's like, does he really have to show all of his cards? He doesn't. He already showed enough. So
so Christian wins this veto. Well, Miss Aza was killing this veto, first of all. She was doing some work out there. Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
She was giving Devon delusion.
You don't think she was doing good?
She was doing
really well.
I'm thinking about Hannah and Whitney. They were flopping.
Okay,
Aza was doing good.
As somebody that loves Whitney and was rooting for her, I'm just looking at her like, girl, you flopped in this wild card competition. You flopped in veto. Go home. Like, I liked Whitney. Whitney was like somebody that I was like rooting for, like from the start.
Yeah,
like I liked her from the start.
I think I drafted her in a lot of my drafts.
Sorry.
A real McCain moment was about to come out of me, y'all. Y'all was about to go down my throat, baby.
Wait, just now?
I was like, wait, what are you talking about? That we watched the same show? Like, Ozzy was killing it. Like, she was, she fell on her back to try to catch the ball.
When she dove for that ball, baby.
That would have been gold.
She would have dove and caught that baby.
She would have been veto queen. Veto queen.
But Christian ends up. Derek X is in the lead the whole time. Christian takes the lead. Christian wins this veto.
Powerhouse.
Why he went so hard for it, I don't know. Because they just was saying how he didn't want to win and he didn't want any more confidence there. But he said if he wins anymore, if he wins anymore, and I get it. Winning anymore, it won't bigger the target. It won't lessen the target. You're already going to be a target. So I get it. Win the console. But he didn't have to win this one because he was already safe.
Yes.
So whatever. Christian wins the veto. Obviously does not use this veto. But Whitney has a plan, y'all. Derek X just pissed Whitney off because of this have-not comment, y'all. She's pissed. She's frantic. This is the worst thing he ever did.
Rightfully so.
Oh, yeah.
It's the worst thing he could have said because right now she's on his ass. What he said was, next week it's just going to be me and Hannah. What did he say? Me and Hannah have not on slot.
Yeah.
Whitney's in the room. Whitney's like, oh my God. Like, pissed, baby. Pissed.
Yeah.
She's like, what if I'm still here? Period. Honestly, what if I'm still here?
Any of us will be mad. Any of us will be mad.
Absolutely.
You know what she should have done? She should have took that and ran with this. She should have been like,
it was all in that room.
wait, but no, you got to be like this. Like the way that Derek X is just so comfy with Hannah that he knows his girl's going to be here next week. Like I would have spread that narrative around and not stop talking about
She
it.
had days too, because this was like
This was
Early on,
Monday?
yes. Early on, yeah.
no, this was before
like-
Vito, so maybe
this was
Saturday or
before Vito.
Sunday. It was Sunday. 'cause
I think it
Vito
was
had already
Sunday.
happened, yeah.
She had
So
time.
she had days, yeah.
Okay, so the editing was a little off because like this comment was like after the veto.
No, it
Editing-
was before Vito. It was before Vito because she would. Then after that,
sure?
she tried to
No,
get
with the
Derek
editing,
X on the
there's-
block.
Yeah, she's talking about with editing though. Like editing, they showed it after Vito, but that's what they do.
Afterward, okay.
Yeah, that's
Because
what
I
they do.
realized
Okay.
even that's not their first time doing that this season
No,
because
they do it every season.
the burpees that Christian was doing
That was
happened
a week 2 or
Brent was
1.
there still.
week 2.
Yeah.
Brent was still there.
Because I
they
remember it
showed
on
that-
Twitter.
Yeah, like I'm like a casual. I don't like really keep up with the feeds like you guys. Like I don't like ever watch the feeds unless that's like a fight going on or something.
Yeah, so
I had no idea that happened before, so that's interesting. That like
Yeah, because
she didn't even go harder in that veto.
her pitch was
Yeah.
No, this was after comp.
no, it was before Vito ceremony.
Because after that, she tried to push for Derek X to be on the block because he's a comp beast, blah 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 blah.
The hard
Like,
enough stuff.
but like you say, the edit showed it a little different, where it looked like she didn't try as hard.
So she
before.
didn't like once ever push for like Derek X and Hannah like a duo, a showman. It's like do you guys
Not really a showman's, but she pushed to get him on the block as a comp beast.
Yeah, and that
Okay,
was
that
not
was
the
it.
angle.
wrong angle.
she should've
Yeah.
went for him. The angle I just suggested was a lot better and
Mhm.
on the spot.
Absolutely. So Christian ultimately decides to not use his veto. So at this point, it's time for the girls to get, for the women to campaign to keep themselves in the house. I think it's already pretty much solidified at this point. Whitney's going home. There's, I don't think anything Whitney can say, but she tried. She did go around trying. She was pretty confident that she told someone at one point, if I get your vote, I forget who she's speaking to. If I get your vote, it might have been Alyssa. If I get your vote, I'll have 5. That was by any means not true, but she was trying. They were selling her false hope, but she was going around the house and she was trying.
And it was a good approach to go to Alyssa because Alyssa has Christian, and that would open up a lot for her. Like, hey, yeah, you put me on the block, but I'm not coming for you. Where Hannah, if she wins, if she comes back, she'll put you on the block in a heartbeat, both of y'all. So it was a really good pitch because it was true. That's the truth. Let's be real.
Yeah,
Hannah will put Christian on the block in a heartbeat.
This is off topic a bit, but this is about Alyssa. So Alyssa this week made a comment yesterday that I was just like, girl, what? Sit a little bit. She said, I sat and I went and talked to Azza for a little bit, and I told her like, hey, when you get some time, you can pull me aside. And I waited all day to see if she would pull me aside, and she never pulled me aside. You would think that since we're up in HOH this week, that she would come and talk to me, and I'm just like,
girl,
you're not HOH though, Alyssa.
Derek, I've been so conditioned by Big Brother 15 through 22.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Alyssa was about to say something very problematic.
No.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah.
I was waiting for something.
I was like, I didn't hear nothing bad.
What is that about?
I was like, I didn't see nothing on
Brought
Twitter.
this dramatic silence and then just bring out the story, but not nothing big. No, it was just the fact of her having this big hit this week, y'all.
Oh.
And I don't know if that was good for her game either, because Sarah Beth obviously overshadowed that. So honestly, I don't think a lot of people looking at Alyssa for that. But
I'm gonna be McCain a little bit right here. Let's be real, y'all. Azza has been tripping for the last 7 days.
That's not you being McCain. That's
Azza
you saying what's
has been
real.
tripping for the last 7 days.
Might be a little longer.
Around. Well,
She was
yeah, a little
tripping when
longer. She was
Xavier
tripping
was
when
HOH.
Xavier was HOH. But she has continued the narrative. And honestly, you know how you talk about how Azza's at the bottom of the cookout? She's at the bottom of the cookout because of her actions. Because Tiffany would be her ace boon coon if you really think about it. But she's knocking herself down the pedestal because of her actions and how she's so like week 1, cookout made the agreement. Hey, we don't need to talk game. We know where we stand. Let's keep it moving. But her first standpoint is, oh, this person, Hannah, don't talk game with me. Kyla's not talking enough game with me. If you watch the feeds, she goes on rants about every single person in the cookout not talking enough game with her. But that was one of the cardinal rules for them to stay away from each other as much as possible.
No, Azza doesn't want to talk game with Hannah because she doesn't trust Hannah.
Exactly. So, like,
well,
okay, I have an outtake on that. Like, Do you think it's a colorist issue that Ozzy has with Hannah? Like
No.
It
light
shouldn't
skin,
be.
dark skin?
It
So here,
shouldn't be.
I don't think it's colors. Here's what I'm getting. I think it's a DX issue. Aza has mentioned that she thinks DX is cute and she wants to keep
She
him in
also
the game.
thinks Xavier's cute.
Yeah, she wants to hear me out. She wants to keep, and you see how she was so hard about Whitney leaving, and she wants to keep Xavier or DX in the game. And I'm not saying that that's the sole reason why she isn't like bonding with Hannah, 100%, but I feel like it could be part of that because DX and Hannah are a lot closer.
What's your take, Josh? I hear you've been
waiting,
on
Josh.
You've been on it.
I've been
Say
like, wait, I don't think.
I'm just curious because, like, for me, like when I like read about like the Ozzy not liking Hannah thing, that's just the vibe that I get. But like I said, I don't watch the feeds. Just
It's
from,
very
like,
weird.
reading
I don't know if
things.
it's yeah.
That's what I would go. That's what I would imagine because like the reality is people do have those issues.
And she has tried to counter out the cookout every
It's
single
so
time.
unprovoked.
She's always
It's so
like
unprovoked.
5 and Hannah on the side. She has said that many a times. But go ahead, Josh. I want to hear your take.
Yeah, so my question is, I remember the scene correctly from like day 2, day 3. I don't remember Hannah even being in the kitchen. Like, I don't remember Hannah being in the kitchen at all, and everyone remembers her being there. But me, and
Hannah
I just,
No, she wasn't in
Hannah
the kitchen.
wasn't.
But
They didn't
but
include
what's
her
that
in the
about?
original cookout.
and I think since that moment for me, I've always kind of understood Ozza's brain behind that, which I don't know why it wouldn't click for her to see another black person in the house and be like, oh, we also have their back. So like I get where y'all are coming from, like she's tripping because like she is like Hannah is a black woman in the house, like why aren't you seeing that? So we shouldn't have to explain that part to her. But I will say this, they don't talk game to her, but they talk game with each other. X is talking game with Tiffany. Tiffany's talking game with Hannah. Tiffany's talking game with Kylan. Tiffany is literally the center of all of this, and X is the one that's kind of keeping it all together. Because without X, Ozzy and Derek would not be as protected.
But it's because Ozzy and Derek F have not been as welcoming to like even conversations with people outside of the cookout. Like I've watched the feeds for hours at times, and Ozzy has a stink face. She
Week
just
1 and
really
2, they laid in the bed all.
She
the
doesn't
whole week.
want like. People really try with Ozzy, and it would make it hard for me being a black guy in the house, knowing I would want to be a part of the cookout hardcore. But if you're not giving me what you're supposed to give, bitches like Claire and Sarah Beth would take your spot in a heartbeat for me. Period.
So
Definitely,
for real.
Definitely.
Josh, here's my disagreement in what you were saying about the Hannah not being in the kitchen thing. Hannah wasn't in the kitchen, and when they made this agreement, but Hannah made the same agreement that they made in the kitchen in the bedroom. Whenever Tiffany approached her that same exact day after Kyle was like, "You're on board with us," and Hannah said from that jump on Feeds Watching, she said, "That was my understanding coming into the house."
Yeah, I'm on the same page as everyone else. I'm not on Ozzy's page.
Ozzy has been unprovoked in every situation, excluding Hannah. Out of nowhere, every member of the cookout has said, including 1 second, Lance. Every member of the cookout has brought Hannah and said, "Oh, the six," and it's always Ozzy. Oh, the 5. Oh, I thought it was 5 and Hannah. Like it's always just her excluding Hannah, which is very odd.
At this point, it makes sense.
But in conversations, she has been one of the person advocating to look out for all minorities, such as Derek X. So I find it weird that you exclude Hannah in the main, but then when you talk about minorities, you want to make sure Derek X is included. So it's just a little weird for me. That's
why I say it's a DX thing.
It's a little weird.
But DX is the minority in the house.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's not in the cookout.
There's some type of jealousy there.
But like X said, or who said it? Like Kylan said, I would be a little more inclined to feel, to care. In other words, to care about that if they hadn't already had that one. An Asian has won Big Brother before. No, he was saying like an Asian has won before. Like a black person has never won, so he will be a little more inclined to want DX. Like he wants DX to do well and go far. But he wants to see somebody like us win. So,
and I honestly want to see it too. And I just don't want them to be the demise of each other. And that's what it's given that Ozzy wins a HOH and it's going to be Sparks and Butterfly. Tiffany said the wrong thing to her. X say the wrong thing to her. They both sit
look at her. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Okay, so real quick. So Tiffany, okay, just comment here. So it said Tiffany wasn't excluded Hannah first. So Tiffany had a conversation with Hannah. What she said was and I understood it to an extent. What she said was she didn't let Hannah know because she didn't want to put that pressure on Hannah to make it feel like she had to do that because Hannah was young. But after having and that was when they made the original cookout in the kitchen. But after speaking to Hannah in the bedroom and Hannah said she was down for that and that was her original thought, that's when the process changed and they realized that they were all there for that same reason. They all had the same agenda. So that is true. Tiffany was the first. And I think Tiffany just recently had this conversation with Hannah yesterday too to let her know that originally she originally excluded her. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Watching the episodes this week, something that I was impressed with was Tiffany kind of like letting Hannah know that Sarah Beth is after her.
But I'm so scared that like Tiffany is doing Michaela Bradshaw, Millennials Gen X, like for people who watch Survivor, like literally laid out your gameplay too damn early, and you didn't make jury because of that. And I'm scared that Tiffany is doing that. Like
she's making jury.
She's gonna make jury. Like we're 1 week away. She's good. But I'm saying the thing is, I feel like how she gets that chessboard and she sets those pawns up next to those kings. And it's just like, girl, calm down. You're covered right now. Honestly, the true telling is going to be when she wins a comp and have to make a very jarring decision. Like right now, chill out. I think it's already understand. Hannah already has DX. Kylan has Sarah Beth. It's understood. You don't have to keep drilling it, baby. Calm down and let the chips fall a little bit, and then y'all can handle it when y'all win a comp. Because I
think it's similar to the Sarah situation. It's like, but Tiffany. Here's the difference between Sarah and Tiffany, though. Sarah Beth is pushing Tiffany in a room. I mean, pushing Hannah in a room of 7 people. Tiffany is smart by pushing Sarah Beth in a room with just maybe 1 or 2 people, and she's doing it to the same people like DX and Hannah, who obviously DX won HOH this week. The plans I don't think are in Sarah to do Sarah Beth, but anything could happen. It's literally 2 hours into his HOH. It could be a backdoor. It could literally be anything. But Tiffany should slow down on the SB pushing. Have that target. You know you want her out. Unfortunately, it might not happen this week, but you got weeks to come and it can potentially happen. But keep it in mind. Continue to plant the little seeds, but don't go overboard on it.
Would y'all backdoor Christian, or would you put him straight on the block?
Straight up.
I know I would put him straight on the block with Alyssa. That's what I would do.
Straight up with Alyssa, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. But if
Sarah Beth as a backdoor plan,
yeah.
If he didn't have a duo in the house, then I would backdoor him. But like he has a clear duo, so. Yeah.
But if you're not gonna put up Alyssa, like DX said, he's not touching Alyssa. If you're not gonna put up Alyssa, I wouldn't touch Christian unless you're gonna backdoor him. In that situation, you would have to backdoor.
Yeah. So Christian can't leave. So it has to be backdoor.
You can't leave the duos off together. Like we learned that. Like Big Brother, we haven't had no crazy shit happen, but it's coming, y'all. It's coming. When Allison Gardner is going to want to do it, it's coming.
Definitely brewing.
I'm ready to see what this twist is for next week, though.
I know.
Yes. But anyway, we get he doesn't use the veto. We got into that, and then we got into Whitney trying to campaign a little bit to stay in the house. It didn't work. Tonight we get to Julie Chen, and everybody voted to evict.
I evict to vote. I evict to vote. I vote. You vote.
Everybody voted to evict. Whitney ended up being 10-0. We knew it was going to be 6 no matter what, but we got those 4, so it ended up being 10-0. Whitney was like, nobody even threw a pity vote. Oh my God. But she went out, with class, gave everybody hugs, threw a few jokes, went out and talked to Julie.
And Julie is over Derek F. I'm sorry. Julie's over here.
Julie said, baby, you're going to get it right next week.
I missed that segment. She told him that?
No, she was like, he was like, I vote. He said, I vote to evict Whitney. No, she said, you vote to evict. Stupid. He said, I vote something. He said, I vote Whitney. And she's like, you vote to evict Whitney? And then he was like, yeah. And then he got up and left. Another thing about this eviction, the evictions, y'all, the shout outs.
I'm sick of it. You know who didn't do a shout out this week?
Xavier.
Xavier, he added himself to the list. He was over it, baby. He was over it.
And if y'all notice this last week and this week, Tiffany's are always the longest, and it kills me every time she walks out and the cameras follow. The camera literally follows her as she walks out the door because she's doing a damn shot.
You know
what
the hang of
yeah.
Oz, I got the hang of it this week. She stayed right in front of the camera during her shout outs.
Yeah. So question, y'all. I know we sick of the shout outs, but like, let's say y'all were in the house. Are y'all giving shout outs week 1 and that's it?
No,
Like,
not at all.
I feel
Not
like
every
producers
week.
should limit it to like 2 people.
They
Like
should
really
talk to
quick
them.
to get out.
I mean, they can't limit the people because I guess they can't be like, okay, this is your week to do the shout out. They could be like, okay, like cut it out a little bit.
No
Like,
shout out.
I think it's weird. You don't shout out on other reality TV shows. Like
Yeah.
you have the whole live feeds 24/7.
you do literally.
Like watch the
But
live
it's like
feed.
the live show. It's like the live show.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
like the
it's
live
like
moment.
it's like
Yeah,
I guess like that touch of like reaching out to your family. Like some
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. I
mean,
get it.
Are we going
But
back
I
to the
definitely
day
would
where
tone it
like,
down. I definitely would be like,
It's-
"Oh, thank you, mom. Thank you, dad. Hey, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, sister. Hey."
That's-
Like,
With
much.
15 people, y'all, 13 people.
and that's what I said. Like they need to go back in the day where like people used to just have an heirloom. They would kiss a ring, they would kiss a necklace, they would do
Yes.
something
Yes.
and leave it at that. Like,
Mhm.
yeah, it is ridiculous. I feel y'all.
Old girls.
Yeah.
thing.
okay, so I thought I was like honestly the only one that was like annoyed with the shout outs. Like I
No.
thought that was just a me thing.
Now,
but-
see, if Arissa was the executive producer, we wouldn't
Oh,
be having
baby,
a
it's a
problem.
child.
But we have Julie Jen Moonves as
No.
just
She's
the
not
host.
AP. Yeah,
Alex.
just
Yeah.
As just the host, though. I mean,
Oh.
no one's involved. Arissa's involved, and she's been involved
Mhm.
since she was just a host.
Shout out to
Mhm.
And now
Arissa.
she holds multiple hats.
yeah, Allison is just the host.
Season
I mean,
10 coming soon.
Julie.
But like
Julie's
she's
just
like
a
so
host.
invested into the game. Like I don't think Julie is like as Arissa is.
Oh,
like, I
hell.
feel like Julie is not as passionate as Arissa is. Like Arissa,
No, I don't.
like,
Yeah, I don't think Julie
lives
watches feeds,
for
but I
being
think
lit.
yeah, Julie is a feed watcher, but I think Arissa is like more like
She understands
one of us.
that.
Yeah.
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 Because it all started with Miss Arissa Cox, baby. It all started. Let's
I
be
love
real.
Arissa. Love Arissa.
Shout out to
So Whitney leaves and we get into this week's over. So Whitney leaves 10-0. Boop boop bam. She has her interview.
We love
Yeah,
our
yeah,
African
boop.
queen.
Who's the African queen? Whitney.
Whitney. Big side Whitney.
Okay.
Girl,
Come on, baby, no.
please.
Let's
Carrie-
rewind it back to week
Carrie
1 when
Washington.
Whitney came on stage. I was like, hold on.
Oh,
hold
So
on.
sexy. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
she in that blue dress.
Mm-hmm.
Giving it to him. And then running outside the backside just like she
Baby,
was going
But
like,
did y'all
okay,
catch?
Whitney.
Did y'all catch what Whitney said? She was like, "Oh, if I would have knew Ozzy liked the X so much, I wouldn't
Mhm.
have did some of the things I did in front of her."
Yeah, Whitney was sweet. She was nice. She was very nice
Yeah.
about that. I was a little
Considering-
deal. I would have been like, to that little confessional Ozzy did, but Whitney took it well and she was nice about it.
Yeah, she said his big brother.
Well, what did Ozzy
Yeah.
tell her?
Well, she was just
I
like
didn't like watch tonight's
mentioned the
episode.
crush that she had on Xavier, and pretty much Whitney had to go because of that, and it was
She
just
should've
like,
Oh my
kept it
god,
to
did she
herself.
really make that her narrative?
She
Yeah,
should
it
have
was-
kept it
yeah.
to her.
Because
It
it
was
kind of
very
like
cringe.
Xavier
She-
friend zoned her, right? Like
Yeah.
Xavier kind of
Why-
friend zoned her.
yeah. Why do you want that to be the reason why? Why do you want people to that to be the ultimate reason why you voted Whitney out? Like, oh, because I had this crush on Xavier. Anyway, we move on to this HOH competition that is on the wall, baby. And somebody said throughout the week before this happened, when we knew it was going to be an endurance comp, that DF was going to fall before Julie finished the rules, and he did not.
And he did.
Period.
Did
Period.
He was up there, y'all. He did. Fall
He was up
first,
there
but he hung.
for like what, 5 minutes?
10 minutes. No, it was 8 minutes.
We'll give him- I'm sure they'll show it on the episode.
And then
We'll-
also the Twitterverse be thinking they know everything. It was supposed to be swing and string. Twitterverse was saying that it was like a swing and string.
that was an
thing.
old comp picture that they used from like the
Yeah.
old season. Yeah,
Like BB-8 from what I saw.
there's no way that rewind. I ain't gonna say that, but yes, I don't. They couldn't do that comp. That comp is not for everybody, and
Who won that comp?
I forget. But there's no way that DF will be able to hang from that string like that. Like,
Why do you think he can't?
Okay, y'all
I could have hung from
underestimating.
that
Y'all, that's what
Y'all
I'm saying.
underestimating.
I be looking like I voted
Because
for
Talia
DF.
Believe.
They need somebody like
It is giving
do that.
flatphobic.
People said the same thing about
somebody
Talia,
like
and
me.
Talia
Hey.
held on every single
Not
endurance
that focused.
competition.
Wait, what y'all not gonna do is that. What I'm saying is, as a fellow big guy myself, yes,
Child,
I
you
used
done
to
lost
have-
100 pounds, girl. You're not a big girl no more, girl.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
as a guy who used to be a DF size, maybe maybe not that size, but similar.
You weren't that ratio, or
Yeah. I was a little more tall and
Proportion.
slim.
You were
He's like a
taller.
little more short and stubby with it. But
Mhm.
my point is, I don't think I would have been able to hold all that up, and that upside down with the blood rushing to your head and just all that, your face getting high, you trying to hold all
like
this
the
meat
comp
up.
that Danielle Reyes
all
won
this.
in All Stars.
The spider web is fine. I can do the spider web. Let's work on the
Okay.
spider web. That's okay because you got more to hold on to. But this, you just hold on to this rope and you're holding you're upside down. That's it. So
Gotcha.
that's all I'm saying about DF not winning that comp. So I'm sorry if I was giving fat phobic to the viewers. But I used to be a fat guy myself, y'all. Still am. Yes.
Okay, Derek.
So anyways, we already got into it. DX is the new HOH, y'all. He hung on this wall the very longest. Yes, he did. How are we feeling about this?
Alyssa made top 3 in this comp.
I felt for her. She
The funny thing about this, y'all, is Alyssa really wanted DX to throw this to her. Like she was dying for. She was like whispering to him, like, "You're good with me." He was like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah, you're good with me." But DX didn't. Well, you could tell he wanted this competition. He wasn't going to throw. You can tell he wanted it. So he was like kind of leading her on. But as she was saying, "Throw it to her," like, "Oh, DX, I can't do it, please." And he was like, "No, you can do it." Like he was encouraging her to stay on because he wasn't going to throw it. Like, stay up because I'm staying up, kind of thing. She was like. What did she ask him at one point? Like, do you have a long time left in you? And he was just pretty much like, you can do it. But he wasn't throwing it. There was no way he was. I didn't see it in him. He looked like the strongest one on the wall. Yeah. And he looked like the strongest one up there. I think he probably could have held on past X. X was strong too, don't get me wrong. But DX probably did move that entire competition. So
Yeah, I hated that Hannah's goggles were filling up with the
I
slime.
know. That was
I was
not
like,
fair.
she-
oh, they got
Down.
inside. The slime got
They got
inside.
Inside of her.
That's what I say.
In our chat.
She must have didn't put it on like her eyes well enough, or the first shot must have like made it go down. So.
I know Xavier's trying to take his goggles off on the live show, and he was like, "Oh, as soon as it's time to go up." But I'm assuming they told him once they went off live that he had to leave them on because to protect his eyes from the shit. But obviously, Hannah's got inside her, so they didn't work that well.
Nope.
So DX wins HOH. Alyssa tries to make his deal. DX was not going for this deal. He stays up there. Ultimately, he tells Alyssa that she's safe.
Yeah, because a deal for Alyssa is a deal for Christian. So he's like, look how bad.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I don't really know
I just checked Twitter.
if Christian will be safe this week. We'll see.
Claire thinks that it's going to be Sarah Beth and a Joker. And I could see Sarah Beth and Ozzy being noms, TBA.
Kylan wants it to be Ozzy and Brittany. This discussion happened in the after Kylan or DX and Hannah celebrated. Kylan walked in, they celebrated for a little bit, and then Kylan said that you should just stick to the plan we talked about, which was Ozzy and Brittany. But I fear that if Ozzy or Brittany wins veto, that we could potentially see a Christian backdoor.
I want a Christian backdoor.
I would hope that. Well, I fear in a good way. Hopefully.
Wow! Look how them first 5
So,
out would be. Jeez.
Yes. I mean, even with Brittany leaving, we still would have a good beauty first 5 out.
I think the Christian one's more exciting, especially for the rest of the season.
But I'll take Brittany.
I want to see a little bit more of Brittany. No shade.
No shade.
No, speaking of Brittany, y'all. So we're pretty much wrapped up on our Big Brother thing. We'll get into whatever else we're getting into. But speaking of Brittany, I don't know if y'all seen that video of her and Ozzy singing, I don't want to be a have-not anymore. But if you haven't, the harmony that Brittany brought into that video, the harmony she brought into with Ozzy,
she kept up.
Chef's Kiss, and she was trying to figure out, she was like, that whole time she's trying to figure out, how do I get into this so I can look like I got a little flavor? Like, how do I get into it? She couldn't figure it out. She couldn't figure it out, y'all.
Just check out on TikTok, baby.
She got into
the
harmony with Ozzy, and it was just like I got chills. I got goosebumps after I heard it. I was like,
He was keeping up.
it was beautiful. It was probably one of the best songs. Justin still holds the best Big Brother song with the pizza song.
Yeah.
But the harmony in this song was.
I don't know anymore. Big Blue Couch is, and it's catchy.
With the Big Blue Couch. Okay, that's another good one. Yes.
It's blue and it's white and it's blue again. Big Blue.
I'm putting up Big D. Big D be like.
He was really back there just getting it, baby.
Lee, you gotta get into the feeds, girl. You gotta get into the feeds, girl.
Clearly, because I have no idea about this song. But before we move on.
Oh wait, no. Let me find out. Share my screen.
Okay, are we watching this now? But before we move on, I would like to hear your Power 3 ranking.
You gotta get into the feeds, girl.
Power 3.
Like who you're rooting for, who do you feel is playing the best, and somebody you just like want to see do well.
Okay,
like your top 3 favorites. I'll go first.
Wait,
right now,
yeah, I have the video pulled. And so
perfect.
About the faves. All right, we gonna share because you gotta see this, Lee. All right, don't show these tips again. Window. All right. Can you hear it?
Yes. Where's the video?
Oh, you don't see it?
Oh no.
You didn't add it to the stream. I added it, Josh. You're good.
You added it? All right.
Yeah.
Are we good now? It's blue and it's white and it's blue again. Big Blue Couch. Bum, 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 bum. All right, I guess the video is just gonna be on her the rest of the time. That was Whitney because she walked out of the DR. I don't know that video. I don't know why that video just zoomed in on her. It was so weird.
It was like,
Derek, I love the titty shape. He was like, "Hey."
Was he giving it to the girls? I wasn't watching.
I'm here for the Big Blue Couch, and I don't want to be have not anymore. Good bops.
Find it on the soundtrack of Big Brother 23, coming soon on iTunes.
But Lee, to your question, my Power 3 for my number one. Well, not number one, but person one. I'm gonna give it to Miss Tiff. Obviously, tonight's edit was a lot in her favor. It's a good edit for her. Number 2, that's not the reason I picked Tiff. Obviously, we know obvious reason why I'm picking Tiff. Tiff is playing a good game socially. She's hands in a lot of pots. I don't know if an HOH would be good for her right now. So, I mean, I see why she wants to win. She wants to see her family and get that, but I don't know if that would be good for her in this moment. Number 2, I'm going to say... This may shock some of the girls, y'all, but Derek F, he is playing a solid game. Okay. He's playing a solid game. And here's why I say that. His name's not in a lot of people's mouths. He is bullshitting everybody there. And I don't know why they aren't listening or why they aren't paying attention to how much he's bullshitting. Like, he's literally in everybody's face like, listen, I want this to work for us. Like, he says that to everybody. Like, his main thing is this is about us. It is working. It's working, y'all. And if he sees the block this week, I don't see him being in trouble to leave. I don't even see him seeing the block this week, honestly, even if a veto is used. He's doing something right in this point. He may be annoying to some of the viewers, but I think he's starting to like rub people the right way again because he's funny. He has to say about being funny. He's moving around the house a lot more now. For the first 2 weeks, he laid in that bed, but I think him being a have-not pushed him to move around the house because he didn't want to live in the have-not room all week, and he decided to move around the house. For number 3, I'm gonna go Miss Hannah. Might be a little biased, but I love Hannah. She's smart. She's cute. She's playing a good game. People are saying her name, but that's not her fault. You know, that the girls are upset and a little jealous. Tiffany said it well to her this week. She's not doing anything wrong in the issues that Alyssa has with her. It's strictly based off Alyssa not liking her because Hannah and Christian have some sort of relationship that's strictly based off of being friends or game. That's it. And Alyssa can't take that. Some other smart, young, pretty girl is in Christian's face. Alyssa can't handle that energy.
Can't take.
Hannah surviving this week was good for her. I feel like and she's making jury. DX is the HOH. I feel like she might go back into a decent spot after this week, just depending on next week's HOH and who leaves this week. Those are my top three: DX, Hannah, and DF, Hannah, and Tiff.
All right.
D on your list, DF's not a huge shock to me. I was just talking to Alec today. Shout out to Alec. He's watching. We were talking
of Derek Av from like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he's not saying anything to really anyone about like what he really feels and like what his goals are in the game, and that's dangerous because like all you truly really need is a couple of weeks to really nail down a good story, a good strategy about what you did, and you can be, you know, Josh Martinez from Big Brother 19. You know, anyone can do it. It's a good strategy.
And then real quick, just to add to that, and if you notice in every conversation that Derek F has, he's in trouble. He's always in trouble. Ain't nobody thinking about Derek F, but baby, he gonna tell whoever he's having trouble. He's gonna tell whoever, like if he's talking.
Who that sound like? Who that sound like?
Listen, I'm so scared. I'm so scared, Lance.
It's definitely giving somebody in this call. It's definitely giving. It's definitely giving.
It sounds like somebody in the takeover, bitch.
Ain't nobody thinking about Derek F, but Derek F think he's the target. And they coming after his head, y'all. He it's just a part of his game. It's working. It's working.
Who that sound like?
I don't know, Lance. You tell me who that sound like.
Girl, that sound like me to a
It sounds like you to a T.
Shout out to Alec. Baby,
Hey,
yo, that's
Alec.
exactly how it was in the takeover, bitch. I thought every bitch was against me, and I was telling every girl that I thought
I was the only one truly against.
Every single time.
Yeah.
Every single time.
I'm in danger.
Oh, I'm in danger.
And
Oh, I'm going up.
you said it to
I'm
me. I
going
was
up.
like, no, you're not. But I was like, I hope you are. I hope you are.
But to reel it back in, my three, so far in the season, I have loved Claire's game. I feel that Claire has not really made any enemies. People do see that Claire is a smart girl. People do see that Claire is good at comps, but I feel she does a really good job socially, making sure she touch bases with people where, like, you know, she wouldn't be no one's initial target. Yes, she might be an afterthought, like, ooh, you know, people start putting P's and Q's together. How Sarah Beth want to pinpoint Hannah so bad. I could see Sarah Beth easily pinpointing Claire and saying, ooh, Claire's up there too. So Claire to me is playing a really phenomenal game. She's safe to emerge, but I feel like she's going to continue to make social bonds that's going to navigate her through the jury portion, unlike Netta did in Big Brother Can. Shout out to Ika Wong. My secondary person that I feel is playing a really good game that I feel just needs to slow down a little bit is my girl Tiff. Like, I feel that Tiff is a social butterfly. She gives us what we needed in a confessional. She's making sure she's giving us what we want to see as a viewer. I want to see her win a comp because I want to see what that mind is really thinking. Because you can sit there and tell us what you want to do, but I want to see her win a comp so I can see where her head is really at. And last but certainly not least, like, I thought I was the only one that's thinking it, but Derek F, honestly, he just gives me what I need to give. Like, if you would have asked me this 2 weeks ago, I was drained. I was aggravated that he's laying in that bed 24/7.
We all were.
But, you know, it just takes a little bit of waking up and you finding your footing. Like, Big Brother is a mentally draining game, and you know, he was realizing it ain't cookies and cream like you thought. You're actually voting to evote and baby, I just need you to get it right. Let's make a bet, y'all. Give him 3 weeks, he gonna have it right. I hope he have it this week. I hope this week.
I think production will talk to him.
I vote to evict, baby. Come on. Your turn.
Yeah. Of your three, I think I still agree. Claire, for me, isn't in my top three because I think she's kind of taken a back seat since she got her safety. But like, I think that's the role she should be playing right now because unlike someone else, Netta, who kind of thought they were running shit, played that completely wrong. So, yeah, I'd agree with your three. My three. Number one would be Tiffany, just because she's still, I think, the most connected in the house, the most integrated. She can win a comp. She has won one, so like she has that under her belt. And she doesn't really necessarily have to win right now. It is not crucial for Tiffany to win. Probably the next 2 weeks. Now, the first week of jury, second week of jury, she might want to control a little bit more and make sure things happen. But she's the person I think who's in the best spot in this house. And this person I'm going to say next, I think is the second closest right after her, and that's X. I think X is very connected. I think X is someone we should really be watching out for because he's not on really anyone's radar. Everything you said about Derek F.
This week proved it.
It proved it. He was just HOH.
You're right.
He had Whitney, who Whitney thought was like her bestie. You know, X pretty much lied to her the entire week. Didn't really notice that. Like X has everyone. Ozzy has a crush. He turned that down. Ozzy's not coming after X. Like it's like he can do no wrong in this house, and it's very impressive to see Xavier doing it. I didn't know how I felt about him a couple of days ago, but when he came on my screen tonight, I was like, he really is just playing Big Brother, so effortlessly, so effortlessly. Effortless.
He's giving us Tyshawn, no shade, smiling and keep it moving.
Wait, who's giving us Tyshawn?
Xavier to an extent, certain aspects of it.
He's number 2 on my list.
I agree.
Number 3 is going to shake the table a little bit, and I know y'all don't agree with it, but they're number 3 because this person's playing their own game, and they're trying to make their own agenda happen. It's Sarah Beth.
Give it up for Sarah Beth. Give it up for Sarah Beth.
It's Sarah Beth. It is Sarah Beth.
I can respect that.
Sarah Beth is not playing a great game. She is not going to win this game. However, she is playing Big Brother. And she's playing it the best way she knows how to play it right now because her back is against the wall. I don't know how Sarah Beth's going to get out of this because she can't just be like, oh, all the blacks are working together. Like she's going to have to come up with something different. And so far, she hasn't accused Hannah of being a big threat because of who she is. She's making facts about why people should go home. She is dangerous if people actually were listening to her, but I appreciate her because for the last few years, we didn't like people for just the smallest shit they say, but now they're giving us gameplay and things to think about. So that's why Sarah Beth is number 3. I can see her falling off next week.
I like it. And number 3 for me very closely was Kai, because of some of the same points about Xavier, but I'll have my time. But let's hear yours, Lee, since you brought up the question, baby.
My top 3. One, Hannah. I just like how she has the girls press. She's just thriving. I feel like she has good relationships with a bunch of the guys. And I can see her going really far in this game. And I can see her winning a competition and a lot of people being shook. It's just a matter of when she'll win. My second pick would be Tiffany. I just love how she's planting these seeds. I do agree that it's a little too early and a little bit too much, but the fact that she's able to maneuver through it and people are not really noticing it, I respect it. And number 3, as much as I want to say Kylan, because I love every time he's on my TV, that man is just so gorgeous. I'm gonna have to give it to Derek X. I think he put himself in a good position. He's the only ace in the Royals flush. People wanted. I don't know. I just love his social game. He's HOH. I'm excited to see what he's going to do this week. Hopefully he can set himself up further. I have faith that he will with the help of Hannah. And that's it. That's my top 3.
Hannah's safe. I know that's right.
That's right. Sorry, y'all. I hate to make an abrupt exit, but I do have to jump. It's been a great.
No, we could close out. Actually, we can close out. Go ahead.
Close out.
Okay, perfect. Well, audience, thank you all for being here with us tonight. It's been a great stream. We actually got it down to an hour for y'all tonight. So yes, I know y'all want more of us, and we're gonna give y'all that every week. We had a week off last week. Sometimes things will come up. We will always let you all know and keep you update when we come back and try to be here as much as possible with you. We are out of here for the evening. We'll see y'all next week. Thank you all for watching. And yes, feel free to follow the Twitter if you already don't. And if you're watching this later on, thank you for coming to check us out. We appreciate it. And yes, we'll continue to have this content coming for you weekly.
And there you have it. I don't need an individual goodbye. Are we done with those?
No.
Are we still doing
Yeah,
individual
they
goodbyes?
I don't
But
like
let's like give me mine.
Okay,
No, I
let's
don't like
go.
it.
It's
Individual
okay.
goodbye.
No, I don't mean to be the vain one. You know, Megan McCain always need her moment, but you know, y'all can find me at I am King Lance on all social media platforms. I love y'all. Look, I guess we are done with the individual goodbyes. But go
I
on.
love the pan.
take
I
it
love
off,
the
take
pan.
it
I
off.
love the pan, Josh. I
I'm
love
sorry,
the pan.
Josh.
I will say one thing. 333 by Tinashe just came out 19 minutes ago.
Let's go. Let's
Let's
go.
to
Let's go.
Tinashe!
Good night,
Scream.
everyone.
Baby,
Good
make sure y'all
night.
save room for us, baby. Save
Yes,
room
yes.
for us.
No, it's